Boa noite, boa noite. Estamos aqui de novo, hein? Vamos terminar essa saga aqui, cara. Caminhada Calamitosa, né? Ou será que a gente já inicia nisso aqui, velho? Acho uma boa, né? Já vamos pro segundo desafio aqui. Já estamos aqui, né? Já estamos aqui, já vamos logo. Então, o verdinho. Tá. Ah, dá pra trocar. Sim, dá pra trocar. Cara, vou ter que tacar aqui e aceitar perder. Cara, eu não sei se eu vou perder uma bola. Não passa. Acertei o básico do básico, tá vendo? Eu errei muito. Eu vou de novo. Calma aí. Eu tenho que fazer 34, é muito. Só dá pra fazer assim, velho. Aqui foi. Ah, dá pra vir aqui, ó. Aqui foi, ó. Tá. Não, se eu tocar ali não vai dar certo. Ele pega dois pra frente, né? Deixa eu ver aqui. Nossa, pegou só um. Que abalo. Não, esse aqui eu não quero gastar ali, não. Não quero gastar ali, não. Deu duas. Eu já perdi isso aqui. Agora é o grandão. Eu tenho que quebrar essa do meio, tá ligado? Não tem jeito. Joguei mal, calma aí, calma aí. Eu tenho que quebrar aquela do meio. Deixa eu só abaixar a coisa aqui. Ó, eu sei que aqui tem que ter. Vou pra lá pro outro lado, já solto aqui. Eu não sei se eu quebro a daqui, tá ligado? Tem um 4, deixa eu ver. Pronto. Tem duas pro outro lado lá. Ah, fica mais fácil, eu que tava fazendo errado. É porque tava tão completo ali que nem eu tava entendendo o que era pra fazer. Aí, 100%. É, agora foi 100%. Eu precisava entender um pouquinho. Pega 100%. Tem mais, né? Ah, é, tem o... Esqueci. Um cão aqui. Expedição. Completei alguma coisa ali. Entendi porque mandou aquele, né? Cadê minha missão? E coisa de reputação. Não tá marcado, né? Vamos continuar isso aqui, pô. Esse TP aqui eu chego lá? Nossa, como eu vou chegar lá, velho? Agora é outro BO, velho. Como chegar lá? Ah, a gente vai ter que subir. Ah, é pra estar mais alto. Como eu sei que esse nível aqui é mais alto? É mais alto. E esse aqui? Esse aqui é mais alto ainda. Lá embaixo. Tem que sair daqui. E descer. É. Não adiantou de nada, né? Não adiantou de nada. Afiliação, ué. Relação. Ah, porque a gente não tem nada dele, né? Tem um bocado de voz. Tem que culpar ele.
Mondstadt's water is crisp and pure, while water from Liyue has an enduring aftertaste. In Inazuma,
Você
the
fala
water
muito.
possesses a depth of flavor unlike any other. Sumeru's water, meanwhile, has a rich and
Tô tomando um café,
complex
um
flavor
chá.
profile, but it must be savored patiently to fully appreciate it.
Ainda tem a bolinha de bolha aqui, ó. Faltou um pouquinho só de bolhas. Porra, tamo descendo, hein? Ó. Faltou bolha? Não sei. Isso aqui é longe, velho. Sempre abre pro outro lado. Fortaleza. É ali em cima. Tô na parte de baixo. Resumindo, a gente vai ter que subir de todo jeito. Não adiantou de nada, fiz aquilo tudo. Ah não. Eu fiz aquilo tudo pra subir pra esse daqui, pô. Essa volta toda pra subir pra quê? Tá ligado? Ah, se eu ter pegado o TP. Achei que era mais alto. A gente tá indo pro dormitório descansar.
So much has happened. Paimon just feels absolutely exhausted now that she's finally relaxed. Paimon's super sleepy. Are you sleepy too?
Sim, também estou com sono. Já dormiu? Vai me dormir rápido, hein? Uau, ela caiu no sono na hora.
Delicious. Paimon wants seconds for free.
Boa noite.
Out of my way! Get out of my way!
Multidão, sai da frente, sai da frente.
What happened? Why is everyone running? No idea, but something must have happened. Stop asking!
Alguma coisa tá acontecendo, hein?
Who's yelling?
Alguma coisa está
Still wants to
acontecendo.
sleep.
Pai, me acorde, precisamos sair e ver o que está acontecendo. Situação lá fora deve estar que será que a água explodiu lá, velho? Tem essa possibilidade, ou um dragão apareceu.
What happened? Why is everyone running around? Hey, what are you doing?
Eles não sabem nem do que eles estão fugindo, pai. E essa espada aí?
Hey, wait!
E aquela espada ali?
What's wrong with these people? They won't even talk to us.
They're here! Yeah! There you are!
Achou.
Oh, thank goodness!
Crystal and Lavaroon.
A espada continua lá piscando.
We came here especially to inform you. Something seems to have gone terribly wrong just now. His Grace is telling everyone to evacuate and get out of here. Lafaroon was saying you two are new here and you don't have many friends, so you might slip through the cracks. Haven't you heard all the stories like that? An evacuation is successfully completed, yet you only find out once you do a head count that 1 or 2 people are missing.
Wait, weren't you the one who brought that up? Why is it
Será que a
suddenly my
fortaleza lá
idea?
quebrou, velho? A água tá subindo.
Okay, whatever. The point is, you should come with us.
Vossa Alteza disse mesmo para evacuar para o exterior.
Yeah, he said to get as far away as possible, upwards and outwards.
Então a água tá subindo. Quer dizer que seja lá o que aconteceu, aconteceu lá embaixo. Ou não. A comporta não está lá embaixo.
It can't be that thing!
Whoa, wait, what? What? Hey, where are you going?
E a espada que tá ali?
We have to go find the Duke! You two just go and get out! Go on without us!
E essa espada?
Hey, hey! Be careful!
A espada piscando ali. Pô, peguei um espadão de mercenário aqui. Será que a comporta quebrou? Será? Ah, a porta agora que já ficou aberta. Será que a gente vai lutar com o dragão? O que será que aconteceu? Já foi pra cutscene.
They're here.
Just like I said.
O dragão tá querendo sair, hein? Alguém tá querendo sair aí.
You're just in time. But be ready to run.
Ele tem o poder de congelar, interessante. Vai até quando? Então, se tocar nele vai ser perigoso, né? Ele é de Fontaine. A gente não é de Fontaine. A gente tem a visão do carinha lá, velho. Tô falando demais, né? Isso não vai segurar muito não,
This
velho.
won't hold it for long. Find Neuvillette. Tell him the defenses are about to collapse.
Then what will happen to you?
Until he arrives, we're the last line of defense.
Ah, eu achei que a gente ia usar a visão do shield, cara.
The gate.
Ele é
How long do
hidro.
you think it'll hold?
That depends on us.
Ah, cara. Ih, a internet caiu um pouquinho aí, hein? Um pouquinho só pra...
Neverlet,
Peço desculpa.
why are you here?
Traveler, I need you to head to the Opera House immediately. Farina will soon be meeting with the knave there. You must protect Farina and make sure she doesn't spend too much time alone with her.
Certo, você pode me explicar todo o resto mais tarde.
Will do. You have my sincerest gratitude.
Uma tosse. Vá para a ópera. Nossa, eu achei que a gente tava com ele. Cheguei. Poxa, pô. É. Vamos esperar. Ó, já tá todo mundo ali.
Look, there are a ton of Fatilian Palais Mermonia people over there. The knave is probably here already. We need to hurry. Are you two the traveler in Paimon? Monsieur Nervalet has left instructions. Please follow me.
Eu sigo.
Though I'm sure he's already explained, this should be a mostly cordial conversation, unlikely to give rise to violence. But it would be most appreciated if you could protect Lady Farina to the best of your abilities.
Farei o possível. Já foi direto. Será que a gente termina isso aqui? Acho que ainda tem muita coisa pra rolar ainda, velho. Cara, eu acho que eu vou folgar um dia e vou jogar um CS. Ó, o Shield tá com ela. Não, Shield não.
Oh, so you two are the honored guests Miss Farina mentioned.
Of course! How could they not attend a meeting such as this? I must always have 2 or more guests at my dessert table.
Achei que era o Shield,
Otherwise,
a
the
roupa
occasion
parecida.
would be too lonely and unbecoming of my station.
It is my pleasure to make your acquaintance, traveler. I have heard much of your accomplishments. I am the Knave, one of the 11 Fatui Harbingers.
Então essa é a Seva, chefe da casa da lareira e pai dos irmãos de Lene. Ele realmente não parece ser fácil de lidar. Ela, né? Saudações, também é um prazer te conhecer.
I've already prepared seats for you. Come, sit beside me.
Perhaps you two are unaware of how Miss Farina and I do things. You see, we actually recently agreed to get together for tea when we had the time. See this? This is a limited type of confectionery that Miss Farina simply adores. There are only 16 slices sold every day. Here, why don't you and
Se você não
Paimon
quiser
have a
experimentar,
taste?
ela parece bem amigável, mas isso é só a superfície, né? Não posso subestimar a Seva. Preciso ter cuidado.
Traveler, what do you think of this cake?
É muito bom, é bem gostoso. Acho que a Paimon concorda, né?
That's good to hear. So what Child said was on the mark after all. You do share a taste in desserts with Farina and I.
Pera, Shield não teria motivo algum pra dizer algo assim.
I wonder how he's doing nowadays. You must have heard, right? He's suddenly gone missing. I'm really worried about his safety, you know. Here's to hoping that he's an excellent swimmer.
Tenho fé nas habilidades dele.
Since we're talking about him, I feel like I should add something. His martial prowess really looked certainly pretty impressive, yeah.
Farina parece bem nervosa. Deve existir algum tipo de desavença entre ela e a Seva.
Oh, so you're also familiar with his aptitude for fighting, Miss Farina. Oh, right. I almost forgot. Child was subdued by Udex Nuvilette right in front of you. Against ordinary people, my colleague would never be on the back foot. But alas, he just never imagined he'd run into such a person. I must express my admiration for Monsieur Nuvilette.
Eu consegui descobrir algumas pistas do seu paradeiro.
Coming from you, that's not surprising at all.
But I thought you would be happier to hear the news.
Of course, but it's still a bit of a shame. You see, I would have been far happier had I received this news somewhat earlier. As you well know, a long time has passed since Child disappeared.
Well, in any case, there's no need to worry. We know for sure that Child is still alive.
Oh, and just how do you know that?
Because we found evidence that proved he left the Fortress of Mirapede.
And where did he go after leaving the fortress?
Well...
Ih, Paimon, tá se complicando, hein? Oh não, o que a Paimon disse nos deixou em uma posição ruim.
The Fortress of Mirapede lies deep beneath the waves. Unless he pranced right out of the main gate, he must have had to swim for it. Do you have any proof that he surfaced safely?
Não temos. Mas também não existe evidência de que ele se feriu ou foi morto.
That is good news at least. His sister Tonya sent a letter to Fontaine not too long ago. Since he was unfortunately unavailable, I picked it up on his behalf. Do you have any idea how he usually writes back to his family? Dear Tonya, your letter made me feel like we were still enjoying our time in Snezhnaya together. I'm currently admiring the scenery on the streets in front of the opera
A gente tá
house.
tomando chá aqui,
Is
cara.
it something like that?
Ela está aumentando a pressão, não tenho certeza se irei conseguir convencê-la, mas pelo menos posso tentar distraí-la da Furina. Isso me parece bom, sim.
All letters tend to follow the same few formats anyway, right? As long as the contents are accurate, it doesn't matter so much how it's written or how it's worded.
Furina? Travou?
Hold on. The water in the teacup is shaking.
Ih, rapaz.
I suppose this is also a sign of things to come, Miss Furina.
Huh? I don't quite understand what you're trying to say.
Acho que a água lá de baixo tá
Have we entered
subindo.
into the next stage of the prophecy?
Ela sabe. E já foi direto, hein?
My thanks to you both. I will take it from here.
Sure you don't need a hand?
Quite sure.
Wow. So, what's your secret, huh?
Yeah.
Let me guess. Nah, who knows? Maybe it's just your sense of responsibility.
Sounds about right.
Senso de responsabilidade.
A day may come when the prophecy is fulfilled and the waters burst forth. But it is not this day.
Ele parou a água.
Could easily obliterate an entire race.
Ele tá voltando no tempo.
A tsunami of fury would unleash endless catastrophe. This sentence is too severe. Forgive me for overruling it.
Ah, mentira que é só isso, cara. Pô, achei que ia ter mais drama. Foi tão fácil. Ele só voltou no tempo ali e trouxe a água de volta, pô.
All right. Seems like the problem inside has been suppressed.
Let me guess. We're safe for now.
Indeed. But only for now.
I win this bet. You owe me a present.
Very well. It was indeed just as you said.
You made a bet?
We made a bet on the size of your entourage. Cloran thought you wouldn't come down by yourself.
I figured you would have at least brought a few people along for appearance's sake. It appears I underestimated just how confidential the mission was.
Shouldn't you have gotten used to confidential missions by now? That's just how the courts operate.
So what gift must the loser give? Tea?
He already has tons of tea in his office. I'm thinking about a set of legal codices.
That wouldn't happen to be a dig at my lack of legal awareness, would it?
Well, I'm sure His Grace doesn't consider the fortress to be outside the law.
I was under the impression the residents of a place like this would be uninterested in the legal codices.
That was obviously a joke. Anyway, you've still got some unfinished business to attend to in the overworld, correct?
No need to stay here if you have a pressing matter. We all know you can't leave Palais Marmonia for long.
Thank you. I hope everything went smoothly with the Fatui Harbinger.
Não foi tão bem assim não. É pai me falar demais. Da onde vai voltar? Já eles conversando?
I must say, we've spent long enough playing
Brincando de
house.
casinha.
Miss Farina, as the Hydro Archon, I am sure you understand the exact meaning of the phenomenon we just witnessed. Or should I say, that's what I originally thought.
Ela faz ideia.
But looking at your expression, was I wrong? And you haven't a clue?
What are you trying to say?
At this point, I don't think there's any more need to speak as diplomatic representatives. Allow me to speak to you now as just a Fontanian. You know the prophecy by heart, and also that every part of it is being proven true. Yet, here you are, relaxing, drinking tea, and eating desserts as if it's all nothing more than a few stray bugs in your garden. Do you really think that's acceptable? The prophecy's hanging above our necks like a guillotine. Every faction is looking for a way to either avert the disaster or save their own. Even the orphans of the House of the Hearth have devoted everything to saving their homeland. But you? It beggars belief just how nonchalant and carefree you have been. From the very beginning, you, the god Focalor, you have utterly failed to take action.
You're wrong. I've never ignored the prophecy, nor have I just been passing the time in self-indulgence. Retract your accusation and stop doubting the wisdom of the gods with such absurd conjectures.
I am not alone in my doubts, you know. All the children of Fontaine may be harboring the exact same thoughts right now. Oh, great Hydro Archon. How are you going to save them? Save us? How are the people you've sworn to protect supposed to survive in a land that will soon disappear beneath the waves?
I have my ways, and I've been working on them for all this time. Even if you look down upon me, you have no right to judge me. Fontaine will be saved. Even if I still cannot see the true future right now, as long as I continue on as I am, I will be able to hold my head up high.
Farina não está agindo como de costume, ela realmente está refutando as acusações da
Then I
serva.
ask you, Miss Farina, just what have you been working on? Where can we see it, and what is it doing to help?
Ah, não li. Abaixei a cabeça por minuto.
Are just like the prophecy itself. They will only reveal themselves at the fated time. It is just that beings like yourselves are unable to perceive them as of yet.
I see. As a god, the proof of your labor always lies beyond prying mortal eyes.
Olhos curiosos
Allow
dos
me to be so
mortais.
bold as to ask another way. Would it be possible for you to tell us the parts of your plan that are not confidential? Such as your emergency response plan for the impending disaster?
An emergency response plan?
Oh,
É, pau a Deus, ela
that
parece
look
bem
in your
mimada, hein, velho.
eyes. Have you not even prepared one of those?
Deixa tudo na cabeça, nas mãos do
response
carinha lá,
plan
velho.
is also strictly confidential.
Then allow me to jog your memory. Miss Farina, what is the purpose of your oratrice mécanique d'analyse cardinal? And what do you plan to do with the massive amounts of indemnitium that has accumulated over the years?
The oratrice? It's just like it appears to be.
So you also have no idea. If I'm not mistaken, someone's using it to prepare for something. But unfortunately, it would seem that someone is not you, Miss Farina. I first caught wind of this when Linny tried to investigate the oratrice in the Opera House. You see, even just getting close to the core contaminated him with an extremely large amount of indemnitium. But even if that had nothing to do with you, then what could you possibly be working on, oh great Hydro Archon? Oh, right. I almost forgot. Udex Nuvilette is not at the tea party with us today. Miss Farina, I suppose you must have ordered him away to take care of some troublesome business.
Yeah, yes, that's exactly right. Please keep it a secret for me.
Of course I will. Although, I must say, Miss Farina, you seem quite insecure without the Udex by your side. Oh, very well. Let's stop that conversation here. There are still a few slices of cake left, so please, help yourselves, everyone.
Não pude intervir, não sei nada sobre os tópicos. Nem sei o que o Neuvillette vai quer dizer se estivesse aqui. Provavelmente ele lidar com o mapa primordial. A Fune está falando a verdade ou não?
Traveler, I heard that you were recently commissioned to handle a few matters on behalf of the Udex. Why don't you take an extra slice of cake? Those who work hard
Eu sinto que a Funina é muito mimada, cara.
You too.
Vamos ver aí.
Thank you. Paimon will take you up on that offer.
Vamos esperar. A Seva continua a mudar o tópico e menciona várias questões menos importantes.
Oh, Paimon's super full. That cake was great.
If it's on my tea table, it must be of the highest quality.
E ela que trouxe. Se tiver com veneno, mata nós três.
For bringing these over as well.
You're welcome. I'm sure the cake also felt greatly honored to be featured at Miss Farina's table. And I was merely catering to Miss Farina's tastes, seeking a chance to chat over tea. It is getting late. Why don't we call it a day? There are still a few matters that I need to take care of, so I must take my leave now.
Very well. We'll end it here.
Mind seeing me off, traveler? We could use the opportunity to discuss Child before I must be on my way.
Entendido.
Paimon's coming too.
A gente vai conversar com ela. E a Furina?
The tea party turned out to be even more difficult than I'd imagined. Why are you looking at me like that? Is something the matter? If there's nothing urgent, then I shall be retiring for now.
Vamos ver o que a gente vai falar com a Seva, hein? Vamos ver o que a Seva quer com a gente. 212. Dois.
I'm glad that you were willing to come with me. Of course, Child was just an excuse. I have no interest in your dealings with him.
That's what Paimon thought.
O que você quer falar?
You lent your aid to the children of the House of the Hearth. As their father, I would like to express my gratitude.
Não precisa, eu não imaginava que você quisesse falar sobre isso.
Do I look like an irresponsible father to you? The House of the Hearth is very important to me. You should know that I care deeply about my children.
Tem algo a mais que você quer dizer?
That was all. Formal topics should be discussed in formal settings, and informal topics in informal settings. I know you just returned from the fortress of Meripede. Relax. I have no intention of trying to get anything out of you. Linny, Lynette, and Fremine are still there, and I trust their judgment and abilities.
They've all been working very hard and have always done all they can to fight back against anyone who tried to stop them, especially Linny.
You mean Wriothesley. He's a tricky one to deal with. It's unfortunate that Linny's so eager to prove himself that he can't learn to rely on others, including me. By the way, and you can just consider this a bit of idle gossip, but what's your impression of Farina? You are outside of our disputes, and the freest person in all of Fontaine, able to move around most easily. Allow me to share my perspective with you.
And that's everything that happened during the trial. Master Child was declared guilty and immediately transported to the fortress of Meropide.
Didn't he say he was coming here on vacation? Does he not feel an ounce of shame for all the trouble he has caused? Forget it. He did give us an opportunity. I will be meeting someone shortly.
Do you require help with any preparations?
No need. I will take care of it myself. I need to meet with Farina, the Hydro Archon. She is at the heart of Fontaine. But what's fascinating about her is that she often seems more like a celebrity than a working Archon.
Oh? Come over here, you little critter, you! You dare to run from me? Stop right this instant!
My goal is just to discover the location of the Gnosis. But I didn't expect the chance to approach Farina to be handed to me on a silver platter. This is so easy, it's actually making me a bit suspicious. Anything left unguarded is usually just bait. But no one will blame someone for taking the bait. After all, from the moment it was attached to the hook, the bait is meant to be sacrificed. It's just as I guessed in the second before I struck. The Hydronosis is not currently held by the Archon. In fact, this Archon doesn't seem like a god at all. And I sense that she's under some kind of curse.
Who are you? And what are you trying to do? Please don't kill me!
Será que ela não é a Arconte verdadeira?
Please!
The fear in her pupils is genuine, so perhaps she's not bait after all. Either way, targeting her has lost all meaning. I left the scene with ease. Nobody came looking for me, and nobody could serve as a witness to my near assassination of Fossilor. I suspect even Farina dares not mention this incident to
Será que é o
anyone.
Novilete, velho?
Not long after, my
Que é o
informant
Arconte verdadeiro, mas
confirmed
não,
what I
né?
had guessed. After returning to her quarters, Farina quietly cried alone. She was so scared that she could not sleep that night, nor could she even bring herself to eat her cake. There's no doubt that there's something wrong with her. I began to entertain the possibility that she is not the true Hydro Archon. Perhaps Iudex Neuvillette is actually the genuine article. I have to find the Gnosis. If the Neuvillette hypothesis is correct, he is probably in possession of it. Alternatively, it might have been hidden in a place that's hard for ordinary people to access.
Yes, Father.
My dear children, please speak.
News from the fortress of Meropide. Master Child has gone missing. On top of that, the contacts and guards we bribed at the fortress have all gone quiet as well.
Probably the handiwork of that Writhsley.
I'm afraid so.
This is a good opportunity. The value of a harbinger is much higher than most would imagine. We now have an excuse to exert diplomatic pressure on the Fontaine authorities. Set up a meeting for me. I would like to meet the Hydro Archon and Iudex Neuvillette. Oh, and I have an additional mission for you three.
Yes, Father.
Tartaglia's disappearance was not a part of my plan, but I can use it to make a breakthrough. With this as my excuse, I can ask for an official audience and continue my investigation of Farina and Iudex Neuvillette. The initiative belongs to the House of the Hearth. My wish to investigate the fortress of Meropide will be a front. Lenny and his group will be responsible for the actual intelligence gathering.
Muita historinha, hein? Muita historinha.
You should know the rest. Lenny's group is quite close to you. so they wouldn't have hidden anything from you.
You attacked the Hydro Archon?
It wouldn't mean anything, even if you shouted it from the rooftops. After all, even Furina herself is still pretending that nothing of that sort ever happened.
Então ela é a fonte verdadeira.
Alright then.
I've now had 2 chances to enjoy tea with Furina. I have to say, the leadership of Fontaine is even more inscrutable than I had imagined. I once surmised that Iudex Neuvillette must be the Hydro Archon.
Como chegou a essa conclusão?
That doesn't seem right to me.
Ela teve o mesmo
either.
pensamento que eu. Como chegou a essa conclusão?
I am a servant of Her Majesty the Tsaritsa. Over my years of service, I've learned how a real Archon conducts and carries themselves. Whether Iudex Neuvillette or Furina, neither fits the bill. It's hard to imagine either of them as the Archon.
Drama, hein?
Of course, that is all just how I feel. Gut feelings often do not require
Eu acho que é o
justification.
Neuvillette também,
It
né?
is, however, quite amusing to me that after all my years working in intelligence gathering, I've come to realize I am at a complete loss regarding the identity of the god of the land of my birth. Don't you think Fontaine is quite intriguing? A catastrophe looms, yet many secrets have yet to rise to the surface. It looks like Fontainians will have no choice but to save themselves. Ultimately, though, one must survive in order to do anything else. Should the need arise, I would be happy to cooperate with you.
Ok.
You don't need to commit to anything right now, of course. I have a feeling that the situation will continue to evolve, and as your name is often connected with noble deeds, I'm sure we will work together.
Olha ele chegando aí.
someday.
Cheio da marra. Neuvillette.
He certainly returned quickly. You must want to catch up with each other, so I'll leave you to him.
E aí, Neuvillette?
Neuvillette, is it over?
For now, yes. But this issue will prove quite thorny in the long term. I'm concerned that sooner or later the prophesized events will occur. Thank you for protecting Furina.
Podemos saber o que aconteceu?
To put it simply, I used my power to force back the primordial sea and reseal the sluice gate.
Aqui do nosso lado, você conta a Neuvillette aconteceu na festa do chá.
So as expected, the knave has turned up the pressure on Furina. She's trying to feel her out, though I'm still unsure as to her motives.
Posso fazer algumas perguntas?
Permission granted.
Você é forte o suficiente para repelir o mar primordial? Você tem alguma conexão mais profunda com o arco contídro?
Whoa. It can't be that you're the real Hydro Archon, right? But
A gente
that's
só tá
just a speculation
especulando.
on our part, though. You can't tell us? Then that's okay. We can talk about something else. We won't try to force you. You guys in Fontaine are super strange.
If by the phrase "you guys" you are referring to Furina and I, then although I'm not sure just what you are trying to imply, I must clarify that I do not share her positions on a multitude of topics.
O que você sentiu na fortaleza, Meropide ou Meropide, né? Você conseguiu proteger quem precisava ser protegido?
I believe so. The fortress has a long and complex history. It has seen much grief and
É
suffering.
Meropide? Meropide. Sei.
And now, another catastrophe will soon be upon us. I mourn this turn of events.
Lamenta?
Why is it raining all of a sudden?
Deve ser o dragão lá. O céu já fica cheio de nuvens escuras e chuva fica pesada. Rapidamente passa... É logo antes de chover, na verdade, havia mencionado sua tristeza. Pensando sobre aquela lenda. Dizem que já existia um dragão da água em Fontaine. Sempre que ele chorava, o céu ficava nublado e a chuva caía. Espere. Nossa.
You may be
Nossa.
closer to the truth than you think.
Oh,
Será que ele é o
what are you
dragão?
thinking?
Ele é o rei dragão da água.
The dragon of
Nossa.
what? Huh?
Please
Ele
do
chorou.
not be so surprised.
Ele é o... Ah, então... E ela é Arconte mesmo, e aí?
Furina?
Ela é arconte mesmo? Neuvillette, você está me ouvindo?
My apologies.
Ele é o dragão, véi.
We weren't just
Nossa.
guessing randomly. We didn't guess right, did we? You're not actually the dragon sovereign of water, right? Well, if you don't want to confirm or deny...
You guessed correctly. I sincerely hope you'll be able to keep this a secret for me.
Right, of course. We'll definitely help you keep it a secret.
Achei que ele era um dragão. Será que ele se transforma?
Paimon wants to ask you, though.
Também tenho essa dúvida, pai.
Please, go ahead.
Well, if you are the dragon sovereign of water, and you were able to force back the primordial sea from the fortress, then since Fontaine's prophecy is all about seawater, couldn't you just use your power to solve the crisis?
None of the currently living dragon sovereigns in the world, myself included, possess our full dragonhood.
Tá.
They say that when the first usurper arrived on Teyvat, they seized a part of the dragon's power. Today, that stolen power is the basis of the Archon's authorities.
There are 7 elemental archons and 7 matching dragon sovereigns.
The dragon sovereign of water who lived through that era perished a long time ago. As their successor, I know far less of that part of our ancient history. In any case, I believe I will not be able to do much unless the Archon disappears and returns their elemental authority to me. Given the status quo, however, I would recommend finding another way to deal with the prophecy.
Oh, so even you can't solve it.
I still have some urgent matters to attend to at my office. If you have any more questions regarding ancient history, you are welcome to discuss them with me at a later time.
Please go right ahead. There's a place that Paimon wants to go too. Traveler, why don't we pay another visit to the Fortress of Meripede? Paimon is a little worried.
Tudo bem, até mais tarde.
We'll see you another time.
Tava resolvendo um negócio
Take
aqui.
care.
Terminamos? Tem mais alguma coisa ou terminou geral? Tem. Momento de paz. Retorne para a prisão para saber como todos estão. Retorne para a prisão, né? Paga nós. Bora, né? Bora ver como eles estão. Tá, tem um carinha aqui.
You guys are back?
You guys didn't get caught and thrown back down here, right?
Huh? No, not at all.
And here I thought you'd managed to escape from jail during all the commotion. I'd held you up as legendary jailbreakers, but now you're telling me you just
Onde
never
saiu?
left?
We're sorry, but we just had some business to take care of.
Alguns assuntos para resolver.
There's no need to get caught up in the details. We're just relieved to see you. He was super worried about you, you know.
Hey, it wasn't just me. Weren't you super worried as well?
Something like that, yeah. I was also transferred to work in the kitchen a few days ago. I can still hear Quisto mumbling to the carrots. Are those two all right? Do you think they made it out alive? Whenever he'd say that, I'd tell him I'm sure they're fine. Wherever they are, they're kicking back with drinks in hand, enjoying the lovely scenery.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with worrying about your prison pals, is there? I mean, considering how they always love listening to all my gossip.
These two. They sure are a lot warmer and friendlier than when Paimon first met them.
Com certeza a qualidade das refeições grátis aumentou muito ultimamente. Suas refeições trarão todos os prisioneiros para o refeitório. Suas refeições, né?
Oh, well, if you say so. I'll be watching you to make sure you finish every last bite.
Bora pro próximo.
Off we go.
80. Tem um aqui. Tem um ali dentro, né? Ele vai ser o último.
Adventure time.
Ele ali vai ser o último. Vamos falar com a enfermeira.
Sejuin! Traveler, Paimon, you're back! Are you still doing all right? Did either of you get hurt?
Não se preocupe, estamos bem.
We're fine, but what about you guys? It was such a huge mess. How bad was it? A few people sustained superficial injuries, but that's about the extent of the damage. Monsieur Nervulette paid us a visit. It was all thanks to him that we managed to suppress the crisis for the time being. Of course, we must also thank you for the help you provided. How did Nervulette know that he was needed here? Well, Monsieur Nervulette has strong resonance with the hydro element. When the water level rises, he can feel the waves produced. I ran into the bombshell bros while bandaging the injuries of the wounded. They were mumbling the whole time about how you just ran down without a word. I'm so relieved to see that you're both all right. If you're not too pressed for time, please stay with us a few more days. Just let me know if you get a craving for any particular dish, so I can have Mr. Walsey get your meals prepared. Oh, and please feel free to visit the infirmary for a break at any time. I'd like to take the opportunity to spend some more time observing your facial muscles as well. Your happy smiles are quite contagious, you know. They're so memorable, and I've missed them immensely while you were gone.
Ok. Tem um ali em cima pra eu chegar aí, velho.
Off we go.
Como eu chego ali? Talvez dê aqui. Porra, tá mais alto ainda. Como é que chega aqui, cara? Já nem sei mais. Ó. É nesse piso. Esse aqui é o último, né? Esse aqui é esse. Nesse piso eu chego nele. Eu tenho que pegar o elevador mesmo. Ah, mas esse elevador desce. Aquele elevador ali faz o quê? Ele sobe, né? Acho que é mais em cima. Não, não é esse elevador não. Eu tenho que vir pra aqui pra baixo. Porra, não sei agora mais, né? Agora eu não sei, tô com dúvidas. Isso aqui tá... Dá pra transportar. Isso aqui é onde eu tô. Esse maldito lugar aqui. Tá, tem um ali que é aqui embaixo, tem outro que é ali, ó. Tá. Quem vai estar aqui? É o Nervulette que eu li, né? Vai estar aqui. Ah, aqui a enfermaria é.
Now guess, what suit will this next card be?
A bare-teeth cat?
Well, well, look who it is.
Traveler, Paimon.
Hello, everyone.
Looks like you're recovering nicely from it, eh?
Thanks to everyone's support. Oh, right. I managed to work up the courage to thank Miss Clorand in person.
Whoa, how did she react?
She told me that it was nothing. It was as if saving a life wasn't a big deal to her at all. She also told me not to worry about it.
She didn't want to stress you out, that's all. She's right, and it's best not to dwell on it.
Yeah.
Okay, but check this out. We went back to the opera house and we met the knave.
You met Father? Did she say anything to you?
She said a few things that were, a bit hard to understand. And also that she's looking forward to working with us in the future.
Foi meio surpreendente.
Her attitude towards you is even better than what we'd imagined. That's fantastic. You should believe her. She has her own way of doing things, and she'll do everything in her power to help those she considers close, which now might also include you.
Mm-hmm. Father is very capable and also trustworthy.
Oh, Paimon just remembered that she thought Linny was a bit too proud as well. She said that you should learn how to rely on others sometimes.
Got it.
That does sound like something that Father would say.
Hey!
Are you going to stay here for the next few days?
Looks like it, yeah.
Excellent. I will host a tea party.
For real? Then Paimon wants another serving of cake.
Another implies that you were already served some delicious cake while you were up there. How lovely. Well, next time, you're going to have tea and snacks with us.
Vamos pro último. Vamos ver como todo mundo tá, né?
Off we go.
Pelo menos esse aqui a gente sabe onde é.
Adventure time.
Dá pra dar TP logo lá, velho? História do tour. Mais rápido, né? Vamos falar com o Duke.
Adventure time.
O Duke tá lá embaixo, é? Tá preocupado, tá vendo? Tá lá embaixo. Olha aqui. Ah, não, o Duke não. É eles.
Courier, Miss Sijwin told me you still haven't eaten.
Yeah, I was working on something, so I forgot.
That's no excuse for... Huh? It's you two.
Courier, Lurvine, we're back!
Hello there. It's been quite the mess here recently. How have you been?
Estamos bem, obrigado.
And you? Are you still taking the secret passageway from the infirmary to work on the ship?
Yep. That is still top secret, though, so don't say a word to anyone.
It can be a bit annoying when there are lots of people in the infirmary, but I still prefer taking that route over the one from the Duke's office.
I mean, the infirmary does make it easier for you to slack off.
Oh yeah? Then why are you also here so much?
You two really are just using your jobs as a cover for your relationship, aren't you?
Not at all!
Fale com o guerreiro lá, cadê ele? Tá lá em cima? Com o Duke. Ah, ele tá lá em cima mesmo. E aí, Duke?
Do my eyes deceive me, or did I just see two inmates come back after making it to the surface? Some strange winds blowing of late.
We wanted to see how the fortress is doing. Is everything still all right?
We're fine, for the most part. Neuvillette came down and took care of the worst of it.
If that's the case, why don't you just ask him to stay here?
Oh, yeah, what a brilliant plan. Let's go convince the Udex himself to exchange the Courts of Fontaine for a puddle of water in the middle of nowhere.
É melhor não.
He came here in a hurry and left without even stopping for a cup of tea. He did remember to take Miss Sijwin's gift with him, though.
He sure sounds super busy.
Miss Cloran has left as well. She also took her gift from Miss Sijwin.
Were the gifts milkshakes?
Neuvillette got the milkshake. Clorand received lipstick instead.
Those aren't even remotely alike.
Well, it's Neuvillette's own fault for making Sijwin worried about his health by working so much. But besides that, our head nurse is still pretty fond of picking out beauty products for the ladies. Oh, and I have some gifts here for you as well.
Are these from Sijwin too?
Nope. They're from yours truly. You've already wrapped up your work at the fortress, so you can return to the surface at any time. You haven't yet served your full prison term, however, so you may continue to use your cell until your term is up.
For real? Then we could stay here for a really long time?
Ainda vai rolar comida de graça?
You may access the cafeteria for free.
Hooray!
Just remember to come complete your paperwork once it's time for your release.
Volte para o dormitório descansar. Eu volto. Já voltei. O escritório é lá em cima, né? Vou pegar esse daqui, eu acho que é o nível acima, é? Onde eu quero ir, eu consigo chegar com esse nível? Não. Com esse aqui eu consigo. Vamos terminar o dormitório.
Adventure time.
Defenso time. Quem vai estar aqui? Ninguém, né?
We're back in our cell again. We're no longer prisoners though, so it really doesn't feel the same.
Finalmente dá pra respirar melhor. Parece que recuperamos nossa liberdade.
Being free sure feels pretty special now.
Paimo, tem alguma coisa que você gostaria de dizer?
How did you know?
Por que você normalmente só desmaia na cama?
Hey, that's not true. All right. Okay, Paimon just wanted to say that we really are an amazing duo after all. It's like we've now gone to so many places together and become friends with so many people. We've never stopped traveling or stopped meeting new friends. There are so many bad things in the world, and we're just two people, but we've still been solving problems no matter where we go. Isn't that pretty cool?
Somos os melhores aventureiros do mundo.
You're counting Paimon today? Aren't you the only adventurer here?
Tem uma guia também que conta.
Then let's ask Catherine to give Paimon an adventurer handbook as well. Paimon will also be an adventurer from today forward. Just the thoughts making Paimon giddy. Paimon's gonna crash, so you sleep soon too. The last time we fell asleep here, we woke up to a whole mess outside our cell. The primordial seawater nearly rose up. That was so scary. We should be safe now, right?
Vamos ficar bem, não se preocupe, Paimon.
Alright then. Good night to you, traveler.
Boa noite, Paimon. De novo, nosso shield. Eita porra. Terminamos o Apocalipse. E aí? Acabou. Acabou, pô. Ah, a gente vai ter que esperar. Ainda vai ter mais agora. Então terminou, né? Eu preciso de que nessa missão? Continue a missão e irá consumir recursos de outras... Cara, dá pra gente... Missão lendária? Que missão lendária aí? Ah, tem a historinha do guerreiro, ó. Dá pra gente desbloquear aqui também. Ele é o dragão. Depois a gente faz essa missão, mas a gente vai jogar um jogo diferente, né? Vai jogar jogos diferentes. E tem essa missão aqui. Comédia incompleta. Jogo de rico. Continua a missão. Eu posso continuar essa aqui, né? Ah, suspender missão atual. Continua a missão atual. Renascido na terra do sofrimento, né? Essa missão requer muito tempo para ser completada. Você não poderá continuar e progredir em outras missões até terminar essa missão. Uma ameaça familiar, um jogo de rico. É tudo missão secundária, né? E tem a história do Neuvillette. E depois a gente vai fazer, né? Provavelmente a gente joga algum jogo diferente. Se tudo der certo, né? Se tudo der certo. Você viu o shield ali? Tá na água lá com um bichão gigante. Cara, eu queria muito tentar de novo, velho. Ah, só tem personagem que eu não quero. Queria muito tentar de novo, tá ligado? Tô pensando aqui se vai valer a pena. Tô com 22, nem dá pra comprar essas coisas. Será que a gente tenta mais um? Vamos tentar mais um aqui, vai. Pra ver se a gente consegue pegar. Não. Mamamos de novo. É o ar. É só uma arma melhor, mas não é o que eu quero. Tudo bem. Tentamos, né? Mas não deu certo. É isso, né? Pra semana a gente joga, continua essa missão aqui. Jogo do de rico. Faz a historinha dele, né? A gente terminou praticamente. Quantos dias pra terminar o evento aqui? 9 dias, a gente vai jogar algum outro jogo. Vamos jogar algum outro jogo. A gente tem que fazer essas missões aqui até antes de terminar os 9 dias ali, né? E pode continuar a missão do Arconte. E tem coisa lá embaixo também, no último andar pra explorar. Que é aqui, eu acho, né? Ou é aqui, em algum lugar aqui no último andar. Então você só bota lá pra baixo. Vou deixar no próximo, né, velho? Foi bom, nos vemos por aí. Obrigado mesmo que comprou a live, valeu mesmo de coração. Nos vemos amanhã, se tudo der certo. Fiquem bem, até logo. Se gostou, deixa o like, se inscreve para ajudar o canal. Valeu mesmo. Fui.